Hi everyone. Very good afternoon and welcome back to CGB Mentors. In this particular class, we'll be talking about the working capital finance and the topics which are mentioned in your module C chapter 3, that is for working capital. Right? We'll be talking about the letter of credit, we'll be talking about the discounting of invoices and all these things in this particular chapter. Now let us start with question number 1. It talks about consider the RBI guidelines. Just wait for a second. Yes. Consider the RBI guidelines in relation to co-acceptance of the bill. Which of the following is not true? Now you have been provided with the options that co-acceptance limit should be given only to the customers who already have other credit facilities, never co-accept bills drawn between sister group concerns where no real sale took place, okay? Before discounting bills of 5 lakh and above co-accepted by another bank, get written confirmation from the bank's controlling office. If total bills co-accepted by the other banks for a single borrower exceed 20 lakhs, prior written approval of the co-accepting bank's HOs is needed. Now over here, what do we mean by co-acceptance? That is the first and foremost thing we need to understand. देखो, co-acceptance का मतलब क्या होता है? If this is the person who has borrowed from you, if he will be unable to pay, we will pay you. ठीक है, हम आपको पे कर देंगे. It's a kind of non-fund facility which the banks provide. Now over here, other things are right. It should be given only to the customer who already have the other credit facilities with the bank, because why we will take newer kind of credit risk by providing this facility to somebody who does not have any other credit facilities with us. Never co-accept drawn between sister group or concern. Sometimes what happens is there are cases of such kind of bills drawn which do not have any real substantial thing, right? They are just made for fake transactions and just getting the benefit. So do not depend on it. So what is the incorrect option over here? Which of the following is not true? Over here the limit is 2 lakh. So while you are discounting the bills of 2 lakhs and above, get written confirmation from bank's controlling office, and obviously I have given you all the conditions that you have to ascertain the genuine needs. Only real trade bills should be co-accepted. Make sure that the invoice value is realistic. Never accept the bills drawn between the sister groups and concerns where no real sale has taken place. Basically we are talking about the accommodation bills sort of thing, right? Then you have been told, wait for a second, where it has went, yes. So bills of 10,000 and above should be co-accepted by 2 officials jointly, and apart from that, before discounting the bills of 2 lakh and above, get written confirmation from the bank's controlling office. ठीक है, आपको controlling office से permission लेनी पड़ेगी. Why is this? Because it saves you from operational risk. ये आपको operational risk से बचाता है. So this was my question number 1. Now talking about the question number 2, that it talks about banks are allowed to co-accept bills drawn under buyer's line of credit scheme operated by IDBI, bills drawn by NBFCs, bills under SIDBI schemes on behalf of buyers, seller's line of credit schemes also called as direct discounting bill of IDBI Bank Limited. आप क्या co-accept कर सकते हो? देखो क्या होता है ना, co-acceptance, I have told you the meaning. Now which one you are going to co-accept where the risk is lesser? In case somebody is buying, I cannot verify the kinds of transaction which has happened, right? But in case of seller, because he is a seller, he has got all the details. Seller के पास में सारी details होती हैं regarding invoice, regarding goods. You can identify whether it is a fake transaction or it's a real transaction. So that is why banks are allowed to co-accept the seller's letter of line of credit schemes. Banks are not allowed to co-accept the buyer's line of credit, bills drawn by NBFCs or bills under SIDBI scheme, right? But they can accept it, okay? Now this item is conditional. Basically the whole thing revolves around that banks should protect themselves from any kind of credit related risk. Mostly you should try to protect yourself, right? Because normally क्या होता है ना, आपको तो वैसे भी लॉस तो हो ही जाएगा, even if however hard you might try. So in that particular situation you should try to protect yourself as much as you can. Now next we have no bank guarantee should normally have a maturity of more than 10 years. However, where banks extend long-term loans for period longer than 10 years, it has been decided to allow to also issue guarantees beyond that particular period. Further, banks may evolve a policy on issuance of guarantees beyond 10 years with the approval of their. Okay, so basically they are talking about that normally bank guarantees should be given for a period of 10 years. ठीक है, कितने साल के लिए देना चाहिए आपको? 10 साल के लिए देना चाहिए. Can you provide the bank guarantees for more than 10 years also? Yes, there are certain cases like infrastructure loans. Infrastructure loans, they will be in the gestation period itself for a lesser number of time. If you will allow them for a lesser number of time, they will not be able to generate fruitful returns. So you have to provide them a bank guarantee with the higher amount. आपको bank guarantee higher amount के साथ देनी ही देनी पड़ेगी. So in such kind of situation, इस तरीके की situation में whose approval you need to take if you want to provide the bank guarantee exceeding 10 years. अगर 10 साल से ज्यादा का आप करना चाहते हैं तो So the correct answer is board of directors. ठीक है, किसकी पॉलिसी होगी? board of directors की. Normally no bank guarantee should be for more than 10 years. However, if a bank has given long-term project loans, it can issue a guarantee beyond 10 years for that same project, right? The bank must assess the impact on its asset liability management for how a very long guarantee affects the liquidity and maturity scheme. Now next is up to what limit banks can take the unsecured guarantee as per the RBI's guideline. 20% of unsecured guarantee plus total unsecured advance should be lesser than 15% of total outstanding advances. 15% of unsecured guarantee or total unsecured advance should be lesser than 20% of the outstanding advances. Bank's board of directors can set its own internal policy for unsecured exposures, and bank's ALM committee can set its own internal policy for unsecured exposures. Basically, unsecured guarantee का मतलब क्या होता है? Security means you should be having some amount of collateral. ठीक है? Now there is also given in the RBI guidelines that if from a kind of collateral you are not able to recover more than 10%, अगर आप 10% से ज्यादा रिकवर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, then that is also called as unsecured. तब हम उसको भी क्या कहते हैं? unsecured ही कहते हैं. Right? So in this particular situation, if you want to take the unsecured guarantee related risk, whose approval do you need? That is the question over here. So the correct answer is bank's board of directors. They will be setting up their own internal policy for the unsecured exposure. पहले देखो limits थी, but फिर later on RBI has removed the restriction and has said to the bank that you can create your own internal policy for the unsecured exposures. We are not creating this kind of limit for you. Now next question, when we have talked about the unsecured exposure, we need to talk about that when an exposure is considered as unsecured. कब हम किसी exposure को unsecured मानते हैं? As I have told you, I have explained you, the realizable value of the security is not more than 10% of the exposure amount. आपको जो पैसा मिलने वाला है वो exposure amount के 10% से ज्यादा है ही नहीं. So in this situation what will happen? You are going to consider the exposure as unsecured. आप क्या मानेंगे exposure को? Unsecured, because the collateral which is kept with you is not having too much realizable value. इतनी ज्यादा उसकी realizable value ही नहीं है. Fine. So exposure is basically the kind of loans that you are providing which is bringing you the risk. Can be of two types: fund based, cash credit, term loans, etc. It could be non-fund based like your guarantees, LCs and underwriting also. Securities means tangible, legally charged asset, and it does not include guarantees, letter of comfort or any kind of intangible asset. ठीक है? Now next is as per Tandon committee recommendation. As per Tandon committee recommendation, consider the following statement and choose the correct one. So obviously this was for the working capital finance. Now under second method, the enterprise was required to bring in the net working capital of at least 25% of working capital gap. First method, enterprise was required to bring in the net working capital of at least 25% of total current assets. Under third method, the enterprise was required to bring in 50% of the total those current assets which are considered as core assets. In the second method, it results in the current ratio of at least 1.33. In case of first method, it could be less, and in case of third method, it is likely to be more than this. So the correct answer over here is the option 3. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या बात हो रही है? Sorry, option 4. In the second method, it results in current ratio of at least 1.33, and in case of first method it could be less, and in case of third method it is likely to be more than that. Therefore, now let's see the explanation over here. It is very important. See, in case of first method, they have said that you are required to bring at least 25% of the working capital gap, that is total current assets less minus total current liabilities. Okay. Second method में enterprise is required to bring in of at least 25% of the total current asset, and in the third method you are required to bring in 100% of the core current assets and 25% of the remaining current assets. Now over here, if you will do the proper calculation, you will get to know that in the second method your current ratio could be of at least 1.33. It would be almost equal. And in the first method, it could be less. Current ratio, current assets less current liabilities that you must be having. Okay. So current ratio का estimation निकाला गया है, that what it could be in the first method, what it could be in the second method, and what could be in the third method. Now depending on the loan policy of the bank, the working capital limit can be arrived by deducting from the total projected current assets, stipulated net working capital, and the projected short-term liabilities. Basically, why current ratio is checked, let me tell you. Suppose I am providing loan to someone, ठीक है? So I would like to know that what is the paying capacity of this person. ठीक है, इस बंदे की paying capacity क्या है, and it is very important to know. So don't you think I would like to judge that what are your current liabilities that you need to pay, and do you have money in form of current assets to pay that. So I have made a particular threshold. ठीक है, मैंने एक threshold बनाया है in different methods to judge what is your short term liquidity position. And I am judging this through current ratio. ठीक है, कैसे जज कर रही हूं मैं? current ratio से. Now next is a small manufacturing unit has projected an annual turnover of 200 lakh. Okay, the unit does not route 25% or more of its business through digital modes. Okay, as per projected turnover method, working capital is to be assessed at 31.25% of turnover. यहाँ पे आपको जो percentage दी हुई है, आपको जिस calculation करनी है उस हिसाब से you need to find out the MPBF for working capital, maximum permissible finance for working capital. Let's see how we will be doing the calculation. See, what is your annual turnover? Find out what is your working capital requirement. We have assessed that at 31.25%. ठीक है, मार्जिन, अब इसमें से बोरोवर कितना लेके आएगा और बैंक फाइनेंस क्या होगा? 31.25% में से remaining would be brought in by the borrower, that is 6.25%, and 25% will be brought in by the bank. ठीक है, ये आपका कौन लेके आ जाएगा? बैंक. So this is what the Nayak committee says. Now next we have which of the following best describes the net operating cycle. ठीक है, net operating cycle का मतलब क्या होता है? This is the time period when you have acquired the raw material and you have collecting cash from the sales. This is called as your net operating cycle. This is end-to-end process. Okay, once from when you have acquired the material and you have made the goods, sold the goods and collected cash from sales, all this will be taken together. ठीक है, this is called as net operating cycle. Next, in the context of working capital assessment, what does the turnover method assume about the working capital cycle? ठीक है, यहाँ पे हम क्या कह रहे हैं? In the context of working capital assessment, what does the turnover method assume about the working capital cycle? It assumes a working capital cycle of 6 months, 3 months, assumes no specific working capital cycle, assumes a working capital cycle of 12 months. See, working capital assessment में in the turnover method, what do you assume? 25%. That working capital requirement is 25% of the projected turnover. ठीक है, जिसमें से borrower will contribute 5% and bank will finance the 20%. Right? This is what the Nayak committee says. Now, in this particular situation, when you have assumed that the working capital requirement would be 25% of your turnover, you have assumed, suppose if 100 is the turnover for entire year, you assume that the cycle would be completed in 3 months because you have divided the working capital requirement in 4 portions, 25%, 25%, 25% and 25%, right? That means you are assuming that whatever is the total turnover, 1/4 of the fund we need for the working capital to convert the goods, to convert the raw material into finished goods. ठीक है, उसको finished goods में convert करने के लिए हमें इतना समय तो लगेगा. So that is why 3 months the timing which has been assumed by the Nayak committee, because this is the rationale also कि किस तरीके से ये calculate किया गया है. Now, which of the following methods is most suitable for assessing working capital requirement for seasonal businesses? देखो, जो भी seasonal businesses होते हैं, in that case, cash budget method is the most suitable. Cash budget method, how it finds out your working capital requirement? It checks out that what is the working capital requirement in the peak season. Peak season में क्या है, right? And that is how we decide that what is the working capital that would be needed by us. So, it is a method particularly suitable for the businesses with seasonal fluctuating cash flows like the construction of product industries. It assesses the peak cash deficit over a period and determines the working capital limit. कब आपको सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत थी and what was the shortage of working capital that particular time? उस particular time में working capital का shortage क्या था, and accordingly it would be calculated. ठीक है. Now next are what are the core current assets in the context of working capital assessments? See, core current assets are the kind of current assets which remain invested in your business for a fairly long period of time, right? And we do not finance the core current assets through short term money. हम ऐसे उसको permanent पैसे से हम उसको finance करते हैं. For example, your inventory, right, that can be invested in your business for a longer period of time. So these are the assets liquidated immediately. No. Assets that remain in the business until its closure, yes. Assets that are financed entirely by long-term funds, that is not compulsory. ठीक है. So these are not expected to be liquidated unless the business ceases to exist. Like minimum stock levels that the business maintains at all time. कि भाई इतना safety stock तो मैं हमेशा maintain करूंगी. Right? So that is called as core current assets, and generally we finance it with our long-term capital because we know that we do not have the money for, we cannot finance it through short-term capital. Short-term capital से तो finance नहीं कर सकते. Now next we have a firm has current assets of 200 lakhs, current liabilities of 120 lakhs. Using the first method of MPBF, how much can the bank finance? Bank कितना finance कर सकता है? 60 लाख, 80 लाख, 100 लाख, 120 लाख. जब करंट असेट्स इतना है, करंट लाइबिलिटीज इतना है, फर्स्ट मेथड यूज करके आप किस तरीके से इसको फाइनेंस करेंगे? सो वेरी इजीली वी हैव कैलकुलेटेड नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल, फाइंड आउट करंट असेट्स लेस करंट लाइबिलिटीज. 75% of net working capital would be the contribution. So 60 lakhs is the contribution. Now a business has current assets of 400 lakhs, core current assets of 100 lakhs, current liabilities of 150 lakhs. Using the third method, how much will the bank finance? Let's have a look. First you have to find out the real current assets. So I have found it out. Total current assets less core current assets 300 lakhs. Right? Now out of that, what is the working capital gap? कितना मुझे working capital चाहिए? I need 150 lakhs. Right? I need 150 lakhs. Out of that, the promoter is going to contribute 100% of core current assets that he will bring and 25% of your real current assets. So this is the amount that he will bring in. Now what would be the bank's contribution? Bank will contribute 75% of working capital gap. तो आपको working capital gap कितना हुआ? 150 lakhs. Out of that, the promoter is bringing in 75 lakhs. So the bank will bring 125 lakhs. It's a kind of tougher method where the bank is being protected from the credit risk. यहाँ पे हम बैंक को credit risk से protect एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, बैंक इज ट्राइंग दैट एज अ प्रमोटर यू शुड ब्रिंग इन एज मच एज इज रिक्वायर्ड, जितने पैसों की जरूरत है आप लेके आइए ज्यादा से ज्यादा, so that whenever as a bank I have to step in, I have to bring in lesser amount of money, मुझे कम पैसा लाना पड़े. Okay. Now, next we have a company experiences the following monthly cash deficits in January 15 lakhs, February 20 lakhs, March 10 lakhs using the cash budget method. What is the maximum working capital the bank will finance? It's the easiest one, right? Over here, we just have to see that what is the peak deficit that was seen. That was 20 lakh rupees, right? So, under the cash budget method, what is the maximum working capital that you bring in? कितना maximum working capital आप लेके आते हैं? So, you bring in the peak cash deficit that is 20 lakhs in this particular case. इस particular case में 20 लाख है आपका amount जो आपको लेकर आना है. Next, in which scenario can a bank negotiate a letter of credit even if beneficiary is not its customer? देखो क्या होता है ना, negotiating का मतलब क्या है? The bank can release the payment to the seller, okay, and later on he will recover from the buyer's bank. ठीक है, negotiating का मतलब क्या होता है? Right now I am giving the money to you and later on I'll recover it from the buyer. So over here we are allowing it. See, if the LC allows a negotiation by any particular bank, see, this is the term. If an LC says negotiation by any bank, it's a freely negotiable LC, okay? Even if the beneficiary is not its customer, doesn't matter. And if it says negotiation restricted to specific bank, then only that particular bank can negotiate. Customer से हमें as such बहुत ज़्यादा कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, but it depends on what kind of LC it is. Is it a freely negotiable LC? Doesn't matter. आपका customer है या नहीं, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Otherwise, it matters. Now, next is Amit needs 1 lakh urgently. He doesn't have goods to sell. So, he requests his friend Bharat to accept a bill for 1 lakh for 3 months. What kind of bill is this? Trade bill, side bill, accommodation bill or time bill? देखो, in this situation, this particular bill is not having any kind of what you can say substantial ट्रेड प्रेजेंस. ऐसा तो कोई प्रेजेंस है नहीं इस पर्टिकुलर बिल का, यहाँ पे कोई ट्रेड ट्रांजैक्शन है ही नहीं. सो दिस काइंड ऑफ बिल इज कॉल्ड एज द अकोमोडेशन बिल. ठीक है, इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? अकोमोडेशन बिल. एंड सच काइंड ऑफ बिल्स बैंक शुड बी वरी अबाउट. Okay, so an accommodation bill, it's a bill drawn without any underlying trade transaction. RBI guidelines prohibit banks from financing such kind of bills because they carry higher risk. Obviously, कोई किसी तरीके का बिल हम फाइनेंस कर सकते हैं जब उसमें कोई सब्सटैंशियल ट्रेड ट्रांजैक्शन हो. जब इस तरीके का कोई ट्रांजैक्शन है ही नहीं तो हम उस बिल को फाइनेंस करके क्या करेंगे, राइट? Now next we have XYZ trader asks their bank in the USA to open an LC in favor of ABC Exports payable after 90 days. The LC states document may be negotiated with recourse, without recourse to the beneficiary. Basically without recourse. देखो without recourse में क्या होता है? It removes the bank's right to recover money from the seller if the buyer defaults. देखो, although the line which I have inserted will take this particular clause, let's say without recourse, but what does this clause means? This clause puts the bank into a risky position. ठीक है, ये इस तरीके का clause जो है वो बैंक को कहता है कि आप सेलर से पैसा नहीं ले सकते अगर बायर ने डिफॉल्ट कर दिया तो obviously RBI discourages such kind of clauses. Okay. Now, when XYZ Bank in India negotiates a clean LC drawn on Emirates Bank, the exposure to the issuing bank carries up. Now, what happens is that these kind of instruments are also credit rated. Credit rated, why? Because we want to assess the riskiness of the instrument. Over here, the LC is being drawn on Emirates National Bank, which is AA rated. So, over here, the risk is less, and these kind of exposures we assign the risk of 20%. ठीक है. Now, ABC Components and MSME sells auto parts worth 10 lakhs to the XYZ Motors Limited. The invoice is uploaded on the TReDS platform and later discounted by the FinBank Limited under a without recourse arrangement. After 90 days, XYZ Motors Limited fails to make the payment to FinBank. Who will bear the loss or pursue the recovery in this particular case? See over here, the financer must recover the funds directly from the buyer, because in case of without recourse you cannot go to the MSME seller. This kind of clause has been inserted to protect the MSME seller obviously, ठीक है, but यहाँ पे आप seller के पास नहीं जा सकते हैं. You have to recover the amount from the buyer itself. FinBank को किसे recover करना पड़ेगा? Buyer से ही recover करना पड़ेगा. Now, which type of letter of credit allows deferred payment after document submission? आप डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट कर दीजिए, फिर आप बाद में पेमेंट करिएगा, राइट? साइट एलसी, यूजांस एलसी, स्टैंड बाय एलसी और इनलैंड एलसी. बेसिकली ओवर हियर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द यूजांस एलसी. It allows deferred payment after the submission of documents. In contrast, a site LC ensures immediate payment upon presentation of compliant document. Okay, यूजांस एलसी का मतलब क्या होता है कि आप बाद में पे करिएगा, ठीक है? आप क्या करिएगा? आप बाद में पे करिएगा, अभी आप डॉक्यूमेंट्स दे दीजिए. तो बेसिकली इन द यूजांस एलसी दे आर अलाउइंग यू अ क्रेडिट पीरियड. आपको क्या अलाउ किया जा रहा है? क्रेडिट पीरियड. Now, which of the following is not a feature of non-fund based working capital limit? कौन सा फीचर नहीं है नॉन फंड बेस्ड वर्किंग कैपिटल लिमिट का? They create contingent liability, they involve direct disbursement of cash, they are cost effective, they require assessment. See, basically they do not involve the direct disbursement of the cash. ठीक है, हम कोई कैश नहीं दे रहे हैं. When the bank is co-accepting, when the bank is issuing the guarantee, when the bank is issuing the letter of credit, the bank is not providing any kind of what you can say funds, right? So there is no fund involved. But are they called as contingent liabilities? Yes, because in the balance sheet they are written in the footnote. कहाँ लिखा जाता है? Footnote में. Next we have, what is the role of shipping guarantee in the international trade? It ensures immediate payment, it facilitates faster delivery of goods without the original bill of lading, it guarantees the completion of project, hedges against the foreign exchange rate. Basically what happens is, sometimes the goods arrive early and the documents take time, right? So during that particular time, bank tells to the shipping company that please deliver the goods and we will make the payment. ठीक है, हम पेमेंट दे देंगे अगर नहीं मिला तो आपको, अगर इसका ये ओरिजिनल ओनर नहीं हुआ तो, but right now you deliver the goods. So bank take the guarantee and that facilitates the faster delivery of goods without the original bill of lading to the importer. Importer को बिना original bill of lading के आपको goods मिल जाएंगे when the bank is giving you shipping guarantee. ठीक है? Now, which of the following statements about reverse factoring is true? Reverse factoring का मतलब क्या होता है? Buyer is creating the factoring unit or the invoice, right? In reverse factoring, the buyer creates the unit on the TReDS platform. Directly factoring में buyer is saying that okay, I will make the payment. You please finance the invoice of this particular MSME seller. This is called as reverse factoring. Next we have, which of the following is key difference between fund-based, non-fund-based? So fund-based, they create contingent liability. Fund-based involve direct disbursement. Non-fund-based are more expensive for borrowers. Fund-based are only available to the MSMEs. देखो यहाँ पे key difference पूछा है. So B is the key difference because fund-based provides the direct disbursement while the non-fund-based there is no direct disbursement of the cash. Right? Whereas the other things we already know that fund-based limits, they create the they do not create the contingent liability. It is the non-fund-based limits which are provided that create the contingent liabilities. Next, under RBI guidelines, what is the minimum overall margin requirement for guarantees issued to the stock broker? देखो जब आप stock brokers को guarantees issue करने जा रहे हो, they are risky affair, right? They are risky affair, and in that particular case, RBI says that keep 50% overall margin with at least 25% in cash. आपको 25% cash में रखना पड़ेगा, 50% आपका overall margin होगा, because we cannot allow you to assume too much of risk. right? So these were the questions that I wanted to discuss in this particular chapter. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope you have understood out of this particular lecture. If you did, then please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.